Top 10 reasons why Amber Heard lost the defamation trial. Hey, I'm Bridgette Shields, and today we're going to take a look at just how Johnny Depp won essentially two cases here, one decided by a jury and another by the court of public opinion. Number 10, the TMZ slip-up. The explosive testimony from former TMZ journalist Morgan Tremaine established that the celebrity news publication had been able to publish exclusive photos and videos of her during the early stages of her contentious divorce from Depp, based on tips it received about her whereabouts. This directly contradicts the recorded testimony from Heard, saying that she was caught off guard by the presence of the photographers, and that she has no idea how TMZ got a hold of the story. Tremaine testified that he dispatched paparazzi to stay outside the Los Angeles courthouse based on an anonymous tip to capture photos of her in 2016 when she filed for a temporary restraining order against Depp. This slip-up really affected Heard's credibility as a witness. Number 9, Ellen Barkin's testimony. In a recorded deposition, actress Ellen Barkin, who dated Depp for less than a year in 1994, took to the stand, claiming that the actor was in fact jealous and controlling during their relationship, and described an incident where the two were filming Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas together in 1997. Barkin said that Depp was getting into a heated argument with his friends and threw a wine bottle in her direction. While her version of events might be factual, her testimony did not have as much effect on the jury as Heard's defense team was hoping for, as it paled in comparison to the overwhelming support Depp received from the women in his past relationships. In short, it made her defense look like they were grasping at straws. Number 8, Kate Moss takes the stand. Almost a direct contradiction to what Barkin's testimony was hoping to achieve, Kate Moss's testimony clearly resonated with the jury. The British model, who dated Depp between 1994 and 1998, testified that he never pushed her down a flight of stairs. This was important because it directly contradicted Heard's testimony earlier in the trial, when she referred to an unverified rumor that Depp once pushed Moss down the stairs. Moss spoke out about the time that the former couple was staying at a resort in Jamaica when she slipped down the stairs and screamed in agony. It was then that Depp rushed in and carried her to her room and got her medical attention. The 48-year-old's 3-minute testimony was such a slam dunk that Heard's attorneys declined to cross-examine her. Number 7, Amber Heard's ex-assistant speaks out. Want to know what Heard was really like? Just ask Kate James, who worked as Amber Heard's personal assistant for 3 years between 2012 to 2015. She testified that Heard screamed at her when she tried to negotiate her salary of $50,000 per year, less than half of what she should be making as a celebrity personal assistant. In fact, when she did garner the confidence to ask for the salary she was entitled to, she alleged that Heard screamed, quote, "How dare you?" James even said that Heard would regularly call between the early hours of 2 to 4 a.m. while intoxicated, just to yell at her over the phone. Safe to say that the jury believed her on that one. Number 6, Amber Heard's fake crying. Camille Vasquez, Depp's lawyer, accused Heard of faking tears, calling the actor's testimony, quote, "the performance of her life." Heard took to the stand and told jurors that a harassment campaign waged against her by Depp has left her humiliated and scarred for life from multiple death threats. In closing statements, Vasquez accused Heard of sobbing without tears during her testimony throughout the trial. Vasquez addressed the jurors, saying that the story she spun was shocking and overwhelming, even going on to reference the previous testimony provided by Heard's acting coach Christina Sexton, citing her claims that Heard had difficulty crying while acting. Number 5, Dr. David Kipper's testimony. Depp's private doctor described what really happened on the night the actor's finger was severed, corroborating Depp's version of events. It turns out that the doctor was staying on an island in Australia on March 7th of 2015 when Depp sent Dr. Kipper a text that night, saying that his finger had been severed. The doctor arrived on the scene, treated the wound, and took him to the emergency room. Depp then texted him several days later, blaming himself for the incident. He later admitted in court that he initially lied to protect Heard, saying, quote, "I just didn't want her to get in trouble." All in all, Depp came out of this appearing even more likable. Number 4, Dr. Shannon Curry's diagnosis. Dr. Shannon Curry's testimony was the nail in the coffin for Heard's crumbling defense. The forensic clinical psychologist said that Heard did not have PTSD and was merely exaggerating symptoms. The clinical psychologist who evaluated Heard for 12 hours on 2 separate days in December said that she had, quote, "grossly exaggerating symptoms of PTSD." PTSD. Curry concluded that Heard had a very sophisticated way of minimizing any personal problems, and that her evaluation supported 2 possible diagnoses: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. Number 3, Johnny Depp's sound engineer speaks out. When Johnny Depp's friend and sound engineer Keenan Wyatt appeared in court, he narrated an incident when Heard yelled at him during a private flight. He also mentioned that he had never seen Depp attack anybody, and spoke about a time he joined the former couple on private jet flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May of 2014. It was then that he noticed Heard was giving Depp the cold shoulder, and at one point he tried to comfort her by telling her that Depp cares about her, which resulted in Heard yelling at him, saying, quote, "How dare you talk to me," and screaming at him to get away from her. The incident on the private jet would have solidified the jury's opinion of Amber Heard. Number 2, character witness Christy Dombrowski. Depp's older sister by 3 years told the jury that the actor swore to never repeat domestic violence after their mother was physically aggressive towards them. Dombrowski was the very first witness to testify in the defamation trial. When she took the stand, she spoke about their experience as children, growing up with their mother, whom she described as, quote, high-strung, nervous, and often angry. When speaking of the difficulties that she and Depp experienced growing up, she said that as they got older, they decided that they would never repeat anything similar to their childhood in their own home. Dombrowski's heartfelt testimony painted a sympathetic picture of Depp's childhood, and she was an excellent choice as a character witness. Number 1, the ACLU speaks out. Terence Doherty, the General Counsel and Chief Operating Officer of the ACLU, said in a recorded deposition that Heard only donated $1.3 million of the $3.5 million she pledged to the organization from her divorce settlement. And he came with receipts. When Depp and Heard reached a divorce settlement back in 2016, the actress announced that she would donate the entirety of her $7 million divorce settlement to charity, pledging that the money would be split between the 2 organizations, the American Civil Liberties Union and the Children's Hospital Los Angeles, which meant the ACLU should have received $3.5 million. But Mr. Doherty claimed that the organization received 4 donations from Heard, which only totaled $1.3 million, and only one of those payments was from Heard directly. This revelation completely exposed her and made it look as though she was caught in a web of her own lies. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Citing her claims that Heard had difficulty crying while acting. It was then that Depp rushed in and carried her to her room and got her medical attention. The 48-year-old